Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ronan. Welcome back to my final build video for switchaxe. This is mathematically the strongest switchaxe build you can make to date right now. There's two different versions, one that has slightly more crit but a little bit less raw overall attack, my Gore counter build, and the other one is a 4-piece Gore build which has more raw attack but slightly less crit chance but still hits like an absolute truck. The difference between them, when you have 4-piece Gore, you get Black Eclipse rank 2, which is the set bonus. Black Eclipse ranks 2 will give you extra 10 attack whenever you have Frenzy, an additional 5 attack once you cleanse it, which is why you get the extra raw damage. So let's go ahead and break the first one down, the Gore counter. And before we break it down, I do want to state for those that are just starting out trying to make your switchaxes, I found a switchaxe for a monster switchaxe, which is probably the best one you can make until you start farming Ardians. This one here, the Brutus's Abolishment, is really good. Has decent raw, a ton of white sharpness, but what really makes it stand out is the power file in combination with power prolonger. Having a ton of white sharpness with power prolonger built in is amazing because whenever you're in amp state with power files, you get additional raw damage added to your attacks. And you want power prolonger to make that state last even longer. This has a level 3, 2, and 1 decoration, so you can still get crit boost times 5. And that last decoration slot you can use for whatever you want, whether it's attack, focus, whatever. This is a really good weapon to have. Now, of course, when you do make your Ardian weapons, I have two different ones I have my blast one, which has a 10% chance to crit. This is attack times 3 with 1 affinity boost and 1 sharpness. A really solid roll, and this will give me 100% chance to crit with the first build we're talking about here when the monster's enraged. And I finally got a god roll on one of my paralysis switchaxes, giving me +4 attack. Whenever the monster's enraged, I'll have a 95% chance to crit. It's going to be absolutely insane. Now, the reason I recommend paralysis over blast though is mainly just because if you're looking for maximum damage, having the monster stand still, you can just beat on them for free, is extra damage. While blast is nice, will just periodically give you damage, really up to you. Now we're rocking Gore helm, Arcveld chest, Guardian Arcveld gloves, Gore waist, the Hod greaves. Now I'm going to point out Counterstrike. The reason we have Counterstrike 3 instead of Agitator 5 is because of the attack plus 25. This works with sword parry. Whenever you sword parry, you actually do the parry, you will get plus 25 attack. Whether this is intended or not, I don't know, because in previous games, Counter-Strike didn't used to do that, but in this game it does, and it works with other weapons too, other than just switchaxe. Taking a look at our decorations, and to compare it, Agitator only gives you +5 or a +20 attack when you have rank 5, and it's only when the monster's enraged, so I think Counter-Strike's better. But decoration-wise, we have Mighty Jewel times 3, Tenderizer times 2, Sane times 3, and Adapt +1. So anytime you clear Frenzy, you get additional plus 25% chance to crit due to Frenzy and the antivirus decorations. Taking a look at the other build now, the 4-piece Gore. This one's a little different because you can see our skills are different. You have 4 Gore pieces, like I said earlier, in order to get Black Eclipse rank 2. Giving you that extra raw attack whenever you have Frenzy and extra raw attack when you clear it. This time we're using the Exploiter Charm for weakness exploit. Decoration wise, we have 3 counter jewels, 2 mighty, 1 chain jewel, and 2 tenderizers. Overall, giving you slightly less crit because we don't have agitator. That's 5% crit that we're missing out when the monster's enraged, and we only have 2 maximum might, so it's overall a 15% crit chance less that we have with this build, but you gain additional 10 raw when you have Frenzy and another +5 when you clear it. When it comes to your decorations, I tested out the damage. You could go for full attack here if you wanted, and it would still be good, but because your crit chance is still fairly high, I think crit boost is better, and we will test both these builds now on a test dummy just so you can compare the difference and whatnot. So let's go ahead and start with the 4-piece Gore since I already have the equips. I'm going to unequip the chain decoration here just because I don't want it to actually add any variance to my testing, since chain, the way it procs, I don't want it to stack versus not stack and things like that. So we're going to take chain off just for testing. So keep in mind when you're actually playing your monster, your damage against monsters will be higher. You can see Counterstrike. I got that from doing the sword parry. Let's go ahead and get amp state now. So it looks like our crit is looking at around, what, 377 and whatnot. 621 for the blast there, and then here. Yeah. So you hit pretty hard with this build, but like I said, because this one doesn't have the actual full crit chance, you don't always crit. So let's go ahead and change the equipment here. We're going to put full attack decorations on so you can compare the damage with that. Oh, I just realized I'm almost out of sword power. There we go. Now you can already see, although I have more overall attack and that's with Counterstrike up, crit boost is just better than attack when it comes to your actual damage numbers. And because your crit chance is still fairly high with this build, you want crit boost instead. Now let's take a look at the other Gore set here, the 2-piece that has Agitator instead. And just like the other one, I'm going to take the chain decoration off. That way, whenever we test, there's no variance in testing. We're going to turn Agitator on because this is the damage you can expect when the monster's enraged. And we only have 2-piece Gore with this one. Counterstrike active. So you can see the damage wise is very similar. One's going to give you a little bit more crit overall, while the other one gives you more raw overall. Keep in mind, one has Agitator, the other one doesn't. I kind of like the 4-piece Gore more than this one, mainly because it just has more overall damage, because the other one does rely on Agitator, while the other, like this one versus the other one. So based off of those numbers, keep in mind, I didn't use Chain Jewel because I didn't want to have any variance. So whatever you think is going to be better for you, one has around 80% chance to crit, but this one has 90 to 100% depending on Agitator and whether you're hitting a weak point or not. So keep that in mind and use which one you think is better. And yeah, that's the build, guys. So going back, you got the 4-piece Gore, Gore Helm, Maximum Might, Burst and everything else, really strong. And then you have the Gore 2, has Agitator. Well, this one doesn't. So I think the 4-piece Gore is just better if you want more sustained damage with some burst, while Gore counter is definitely going to have better burst when the monster's enraged. I'm Ronan. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you're new, and comment down below anything else you would like to see in the future. Take care.